Welcome to class. Today we're reading chapter 15. It's on page 113. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. By Mary Schmick. Honor is something that no amount of fame or fortune can buy, but it can be sold, and once it's sold, you have it no more. If you have confidence and integrity, honor will surely be yours. They are interlocking pieces of the puzzle. One definition of integrity is the state of being complete or undivided. This is what you should strive for. You should have such confidence in your person that you never hold your head anywhere but high. Not money, nor the way you look or dress, nor how you comb or part your hair can give you any of these treasures. Only the thoughts that you hold and the way you live your life. My niece, Lisa White Fairfax, told me that she decided at Mom's funeral she would have no regrets in her life. When you live your life with honor, there is no reason for regret. I've known people of power, fortune, and fame who lacked honor. Sooner or later, when they got found out, they want to run and hide, and their confidence runs and hides with them. If you have honor, you will be able to face any problem that comes your way. You will stand your ground and fight any fight with confidence and the shield of integrity. For you will be the master of the situation, and you will be on the side of right. Keep confidence and integrity, and you will always have a solid and firm ground on which to stand tall. There is only one someone in life with whom you must be honest, and that someone is you. Being honest is your passport to success. When you are dishonest with yourself, the only one who loses is you. You're probably thinking that a lot of people do get ahead by cheating or cutting corners. This may be true, but somewhere down the road it catches up to them. Deep inside, they have to live with themselves, knowing that they've done wrong. The times I tried to get ahead by cheating or being dishonest, I ended up worse off than when I started. It doesn't matter where someone else catches you. The person who gets or doesn't get the benefit of your actions will ultimately be you. Cheat if you'd like, lie or steal if you'd like, but the only one you are hurting is you. That is yourself. It is one of those crazy laws of the universe. You must understand that this concept that you get when you ultimately deserve what you ultimately deserve because of your actions is not sometimes true. It is 100% true of all the time. 365 days. It's the circle again. We reap what we sow, and what you do does come back to you. Now, here is the hardest part of that equation. You don't get to pick when it comes back. It may be the worst possible time of your life for something bad to happen to you. Remember this, for it is not just sometimes true, but it is always true. Always. Don't put on airs or try to be someone or something that you're not. If you're a phony, others will see through you sooner or later. People will see right through your cover and they will blow it for you. If you learn only one thing from this book, I hope it is that you're important. If you have a hard time believing it, follow the ideas that I talk about in here, and you will increasingly believe it. You'll take pride in the person that you're becoming. I hope you don't want to be anyone else but who you are. We all think it is easier to walk in someone else's shoes than it is to walk on our own. Trust me on this one. It just looks easier. We don't know how difficult life is for others until we've walked a mile in their shoes. People of fame and fortune don't necessarily have it easy because they're famous. You have the best shoes for you. You're the only you there is. Take pride in this and look for your special gift that you can provide to the world. If you are honest with yourself and see your true self, you will start being honest with the world, and you will only strive to be you. Be sincere and forthright, and it will pay off when it is most needed. I grew up in an environment of honesty. While unless telling the insurance man the mom's that mom's wasn't home qualifies as dishonest. But we were supposed to tell the truth. Once when I was in high school, I went into a supermarket to get some candy. When I got to the cash register, the lady asked me if that was all I wanted. I said yes. She asked me, "Are you sure?" And I said yes. She said, "What about what you have in your pocket?" I said I didn't have anything in my pocket. I had to pull my pocket inside out to show her. Maybe she actually thought that she'd seen me take something, but I felt that she only asked this because I was a black kid, or just because I was a kid, period. And she felt the reason I was in the store was to steal. That was just her opinion of me. But when you're honest and you have to prove who you are, so be it. Maybe this changed her opinion of the other black kids or kids in general who walked into the store. It didn't change the opinion I had toward other people or make me think that others had it out for me. I could have gotten upset and decided that all white people thought black children, or maybe all children, were dishonest. Or could let it serve as an opportunity to show another quality, honesty. People can think what they want, but it's up to you whether your accusers will be right or not. Again, this puts only you in control of your own destiny. It was painful to be questioned in front of the other customers. I was embarrassed. My integrity had been questioned. I wanted to share this story with you so you'd realize that you and I aren't so different. I'm sure that someone has accused you of doing something that you didn't do or not given you the benefit of being someone of honest character. I want you to remember that when you are accused, this just gives you a platform to show your true colors. You always have control over one thing, you. You always have control over your actions and reactions to any situation in life. Leadership. The future of the world is up to the leaders of those who choose to follow them. 90% of the people in the world are looking for someone to follow. The other 10% are leaders. Now, of that 10%, you'll have half who lead for the good and right causes in life and half who lead for the other side. These leaders for the bad are just as effective as those who lead for the good. And the bad way may often seem an easier route to take. If you are one of the 90%, I hope you choose your leaders well. If you're one of those who can lead, I hope you take care of your followers and make a good effort at what you must do. There are ways to make things happen that don't include guns and knives and bullets and clubs. Look at leaders like Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., who didn't believe in violence. If you're on the other side of the fence, maybe one day you'll see the light and lead for all the right reasons. I've seen many gang leaders who were very charismatic people. Others followed them wherever they wanted them to go. Real leadership can be a lonely road. Look at the great leaders of the world and some of the tragedies that they suffered. But sometimes you must be the voice of reason when everyone else seems to be going the wrong way. Being a leader means you have to stand up and say no when the group wants to hear something entirely different. Being a leader with integrity may not always make you very popular among your peers. Be different in the face of indifference or even outright dissension. I want to speak on humility because it is an important part of being a leader. Many of the world's great leaders are humble people. It's easy to think that we are special. Little children think that way, and big children do also. We are special, but we don't have to be full of ourselves. We can be thankful and walk with our heads high, yet we can also be humble. Humility and greatness go hand in hand. We must humble ourselves in order to learn enough to be great. Kevin Garnett's mother once told me something that really proved this point. Kevin was the talented superstar basketball player for the Minnesota Timberwolves and was one of the most exciting players in the NBA. He was also one of the most gracious young people that's played the game. He came out of high school and went straight into the pros. I think his background is one of the reasons he adjusted so well. His mother told me that she had always shared with Kevin something that her own mother had told her long ago. She said the birds that fly the highest also have to come down to the ground to eat. I like that. No matter how big you become, that is one you can never forget. When I see a flock of geese, I think of her words. Phil Knight is a living example of this type of humility. The Knights are wonderful. Regular people who have been really fortunate in their lives. But if you didn't know who they were, you would never suspect it. Phil may be a multi-billionaire, but he still goes into the employee lunchroom every day and eats his lunch among his employees. That is the mark of a true leader. They stay accessible and open to their people so they can still learn from each other. When we humble ourselves, we open up the part of ourselves that can listen and learn. Humility also brings with it a sense of respect that can help us to avoid judging others. For example, it can sometimes be difficult to listen to older people. You may think that your parents have lost touch and just don't know what is happening in the world because they're old and time has passed them by. I want to remind you that they have done or seen many of the things that you are thinking about doing. Listen and learn from them. At the very least, they are traveling a road you'll be going down yourself someday. Imagine how you'd like to be treated when you're in the same place. Your elders deserve your respect. Make sure you give it to them and offer them a helping hand when they need it. Everyone wants to be respected, but respect is one of those things that you have to give to get. You'll find out that as you give it, it will come back to you like clockwork. If you can't give any, don't expect any in return. And before you can give respect and thus get it from others, you must first have respect for yourself. On one of my trips, I started a conversation in the airport with a man named Mike Brown, who I learned was employed by Timex, the world-famous watchmakers. He had been with the company for 19 years and was one of 2 blacks in the whole organization. I asked him about his experience, and he said, I wouldn't have gotten this far if I hadn't met someone early on in my career who sat me down and gave me some good advice. When I first sat down with this person, I felt like I was the biggest thing in the world. I was working for a big company and had a nice job. I really felt I was hot stuff. I had finally made it to the big leagues. Halfway through the process, the gentleman stopped the interview and told me that he had a need to talk to me unofficially. He told me that if I kept the same attitude that I had, I'd soon be out of a job. This stranger changed my life. This stranger changed his life. Mike became more respectful and quite humble. He believed that the person who sat him down was responsible for where he is today. On the other end of the scale, there's the guy who came up to me during a return visit to the University of Maryland. This man, who was homeless and penniless, was one of the same guys who had played ball with us. Not too long ago, we'd all been on the same court together. And now he was on the street. He was one of the guys who didn't make it. Billy, the assistant coach, had put together a package of coats and gloves for him. This humbling experience really let me know how fine a line there is between making it and not making it. Just as the superstars are ordinary people at heart, so are the people who make the wrong turn. Nothing we have is permanent. It's important to remember that we come from and go to the same place in the end. Don't assume that what you have today, you will have forever. Staying humble can help us truly value what we have, and being respectful of others can remind us that we all deserve respect. And meditation. I respect myself and those around me, knowing that I can learn something from everyone I meet. I am more humble now than I've ever been. I feel my connection to the light in everything. It keeps me humble and gives me the strength to go out and accomplish great things. So I think the greatest messages in here, honesty and respect. We can be very respectful and yet still be honest. It's okay to be honest and it's okay to be humble. Humbleness is important in all aspects of life. Even when you get to be a big executive in a big company, still being humble is important, so that we remember where we came from and where we're going, and that other people can look at us and be able to come to us. We're all people. So I think that these messages this week are good. Being honest with yourself, respect yourself, and respect others. I hope you enjoy the rest of the class.